Hello. Okay. Uh, More working on fishing game. I kind of worked out the array stuff, which is good. But we can add some waiting. I also need to check what the audio is like because I've now added music, which is hopefully working. So you're probably going to hear double for a little bit, but I'm going to unmute and see if it's coming through. Which it doesn't seem to be. Alright. How do I remedy that? Because I should have heard it twice. Let's go audio properties. Monitor and output is maybe what I need it to be. Alright, let's see if this works. Try and do it so that I can hear the music as well, so I know what's going on. But currently I kind of, because I've got the tab muted. That's probably why. Why is that muted? Unmute sound. Why is that muted? Oh, there we go. Now I definitely heard it twice. Okay. How do I... We're going to my properties. Actually, I do want to test it because I don't really understand what the difference between monitor and output and monitor only with the muting of output. Output and monitor only with the muting of output. Output and monitor only with the muting of output. Output and monitor only with the mute. Oh god, that's terrifying. Well, for now, let's just go monitor and output. And stick to that. Okay. And with that, we can go over to, I think, alright. So the issue I had last time was I didn't understand what it was asking for with the creation of arrays. So this was, that's for something different. Create array. Then here, so the bit that confused me was we were able to make the array and get all of this. It turns out when I was inserting these values, the reason it was coming off as undefined was because I wasn't doing the quotations, which meant that it was trying to like see this term as a number, which doesn't work because they're letters. So there was no value associated with it, so I got confused. So I had to put it in quotation marks. The other issue I ran into was the saving of the text file. And it turns out all it was asking for with the section and key is basically a reference point. And the way I worked that out was just pretty much by making it. So if I go into SAMMI, and I pull up what it actually produced, all it was asking for was in here section, so it's like a subheading, Right, and then the key was what specifically is it referencing? And then it was all these things. So we needed that in there. The next issue I then had was when I pulled it, it was pulling it with all the like percentages and things involved, which isn't what I want. Alright, because if I try and pull it with and it tries to include all the percentages, then I can't reference it properly in the case statements because it looks at it and say, well, it's not this specific text, it's got all these other characters. So you have to decide to load it and then split it into an array and then do a random pull saved as a new variable, and then replace all these characters with nothing. I even did like a little pop-up message here. So if I run it, now it's got Chatterfish as the underscore without all this extra stuff. Which is exactly what I want. Oh yeah, this is just removing spaces. And then we can do it again. Now it's a redfish. Run it again. Yep. Run it again. Yellow. Turns out it is running it and sometimes not coming up with a pop-up, which I don't really know what's going on there. Red, red, red. Yeah, there. So that one it just grabbed array 4. Oh no, it caught redfish. Yeah, it did grab it. Maybe it's because of the delay. So in here I've got a delay, which is the source variable. So we'll have a look at what this actually does. So assuming you get to the end of the thing and you catch it, you run this, right? And I've got it popped up here, but it pops up on screen and then disappears after a period of time, which is kind of like your you caught XYZ. So the next bit, alright, so then all we did was we transferred that into our main code. So once this runs, CVS fish counter does not exist. So that should, let's, because we haven't loaded it yet. What we might do is put something in here. We need to check. Yeah, I think we want some sort of check in here, right? Just to test if the CSV is loaded. That way we're not loading it every single time. So CSV. So this is all column exists and stuff. Now in here, I learnt this a little bit with. Okay, so there's checking statuses too, or getting statuses. So is it a get? Get. There's get status. TTS get was, we don't care about that. Get variable type. Let's try this. Let's do if value fish counter, I think I do this, is equal to, I believe, -1 was pretty sure it's -1 that we're looking for. But we don't want to know. So we run that. Okay, so that didn't work. We definitely want some kind of check in here. Not exactly sure how we do that. Is there a thing in here for CSV? So we've got create, save, load, unload exists. Here we go. See if a CSV file has been loaded into SAMMI and returns true or false. That's exactly what we want. So let's do this. Let's go CSV exists. So we want the CSV of this. And we'll just go, the variable can be saved as fish underscore counter underscore exists. Wait, that's exits. No, exists. There we go. Yeah. So then we save that. We do. So if we want, if this returns as false, then load. Otherwise, it can just do the rest. If we run that, cool. Fish counter exists false. Run it again. Now it's true. Okay. And then it can keep doing things. So we've got our fish going. Nothing seems to be changing there. So our message count number is at 1. Now we're at 2. So that's all good. So in this case, we really don't need... Oh, we still kind of do, right? Do we have to load it over here? No, it's still doing. But you probably don't need it loaded in 2 spots, right? Because if it's already been loaded here, we can just run it in the 1 spot. And now this is, oh yeah, this is running on that too. Okay. So now we should be able to go into chat and do our exclamation mark fish. Now circle gets bigger. Circle gets bigger. And then fish comes up. And then we go back to our small one, but it seems to go back to the small one on the next tick. So what we actually want is it to happen at the same. We actually might even want to get a bit tricky with it and just remove it altogether. So make all invisible. So let's go. Let's grab all these in here, which are our sources. We're going to copy them. And then at the very, very end of all of these case statements, all these switch statements, we're going to paste them in here. So hopefully what will happen... Oh, wait. Okay, that's not allowed. Alright, delete those. I don't really want to have to add it. I don't want it to run at the end every single time. Alright. Oh no, we can write it in the if statement because this is all within this if statement. So at the very end of this if statement, we paste these in. And we make all not visible. We save that. Okay, so now if we go back and we do our fishing, fishing away, fishing away. We caught our fish, and now the circle is gone. The circle didn't come back though. Interesting. Ah, because we completely removed it for some reason. Oops. Turns out we deleted it. Okay. But now we have a little gacha system where it randomly pulls a fish with equal weighting on everything so far. So we do need to eventually add some sort of weighting so that some things are rarer than others. And to do that, we have all these sorts of things. So this I found under the array stuff. So where was it? Array random. So there are these extra little handy things at the bottom, which are little JSON codes that basically generated these buttons. And what's particularly interesting about them is if we actually pull up this image, this like variable value really makes this whole thing confusing, right? Because that doesn't exist here. It's only save variable as. But it turns out that no, this is exactly what you do, right? So you have this array, and then at the very end when you pull the random, you grab this array and you save the variable as this other array, and it will pull it with a weighting. So at the bottom we've got like rabbit, which is really, really strange. But at least this is some way of doing it. So then what we need to do is when we do our create array, we need all of this, but now we're also going to have to save a secondary array, which is the catch weighting, and then we have to load both of them and do that other bit. That's what we're going to do. So we need to add in a second array. This will be catch lift weight at the end, and there it did specifically ask, where was it? In here, the same name plus underscore weight added to its name, and add values that will activate to add to the randomization. So it might be that this specific naming is what's causing it to happen. So we'll just make sure that we do that. And then what we're going to do, we don't want that. We're going to copy these. And now every time we do this, we want it added to the catch list weight. It's going to be added in the same position, but now we want some sort of weighting to it. So let's just say that, yeah, there's a 60% chance of something or other. I said to do it in like percentages, but if I have 90 for a whole bunch of stuff, I'm not sure that quite checks out. I think we'll have to work out what the values are once we have the whole list, and then anything we add to the list, we might have to rework values. Maybe there's an easy way to do it, but I don't know what it is. I don't even know if you can math it in this program, like doing some sort of thing like, oh, this is a weighting of however many things are in the array multiplied by 90% or something or other. Or 0.9, I guess it would be. But for now, we're just going to do this. We actually might just bring these down to, say, 10. So I think the weighting here is basically akin to adding like 10 instances of this into the array without actually doing it to the main array. We want this, we want catch list weight in these number ones. So catch list is that, the weighting of this will be 10, the weighting of that will be 10, and that way, by doing it this way, it means I can keep it together and I know what's working with what. And then at the very end, we're just copying exactly these here. Wait, no, hold on. Delete that. Copy. Okay. So this exact same thing here, but this time with save variable as catch list weight. Alright, it'll be catch underscore list weight. And the array is catch list weight. In this case, it will be deleting the file that gets created, which will be in this case it's just got catch list. It'll be what? Catch list underscore weight. And same in here. Where we're saving this here will be catch list underscore weight. And then it'll still be list fish, and the text will be this here. Right. So same thing. Run that. Same but doesn't exist, that's fine. And then if we look in here we go. We have a bunch of values. And now, actually, did that have the right amount? That was 4, right? Yeah, that was 4. Okay. And now, when we go into our gotcha bit, which is down here, we're going to do all of this again. But in this case, we're deleting all variables. So we don't need to run that again. We grab all of this. We're going to copy it. I'm going to paste this in. We're going to say we're loading the catch list underscore wait. Fish list, same because we didn't change that. We're saving the variable as catch list wait 1. Catch list underscore wait. One. Then we are splitting this into an array. With that, the array name is going to be catch list wait. And then oh wait, no, we can actually simplify this even further. Alright, because this part here and all of this can be done after, right? So if we delete those. We load this, we split that into an array, then we load this other one, we split it into an array as well. We've got catch list 2, an array name, and now we go into this here, where we're pulling this first variable, which is the animals, and we're saving it as a random animal. Oh wait, yeah, so we're not even saving this other array here. We just need to make sure this is saved with the right naming by the looks of it. So in this case, we need this to be saved as catch list 2, wait, an array catch list 2. Okay. And then we run. So caught redfish. We run that again. Caught redfish again. We run that again. Oh wait, no, it's not catching it because the fish count variable isn't there. So let's bump up the count to 10 in this. So if we do it here without actually running the fish command, then it won't reset, hopefully. 10. Okay. So we're at 10 there. Do I have the reset code in this part? No. I was thinking about putting it in here. But if we run this, we got yellow. If we run it again, so yellow. Let's. Okay. Yeah. Yellow. Oh, now it's red. That's black. That's yellow again. Okay, cool. So it's still working. Now, if we go back to our create array, let's say that blue has an absurdly high chance of appearing. And we'll say the shadow one has a lower, and maybe these can be like 15. Just some variability. Or like maybe our shadow is just like 1. Yep. And now if we pull up our catch list weight, we've got these weightings here. If we run this, alright, so we've got blue. So the shadowfish should be incredibly rare and like never appear. To keep running it. So blue, 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 which is kind of what you expect. Right, a red one popped up. The yellow one popped up. Another yellow. Another yellow. Red. Yellow. Okay, I think the red and the yellows are appearing a little bit more than they should. And blue's not really showing up. Okay, I don't think our weighting is working. I get the feeling that might be because of the decimals. So if I go back to this random animal, alright, it's grabbing the animal weight as array 3, right, and then producing it. But it's not doing that when we do it over here. Good job. Hello, Mills. Okay. Yeah, I'll turn the TTS on, and you can chat to me. It'll just read basically whatever you say in chat if you want. But yes, I'm trying to work out arrays and just the weighting of random chances. TTS disabled. Maybe helps if I turn it on properly. It should have toggled with my thing. Okay, we'll see if it works. I only set it up the other day. So our current goal here is to basically change it. So looking at all of Krita's stuff, it's got these buttons to explain sort of how you do the
Time
weight.
to test and be annoying.
There you go. Perfect. You got it. Also, let me know if you can hear the music. Let me know if the TTS is a bit loud. I'll eventually figure out how to alter it. But yes, so in here, our current issue is that we've got this array here, which is saying like, these are the weightings for different things. But when I go into my one, because I loaded the array, it doesn't seem to be doing the same thing, right? Instead, it's producing undefined. So we need to figure out why. I think it's the decimals. So we need to work out how to get rid of those decimal places. And the simple answer is I don't actually have any idea. When it's in the array, it seems to be okay. But when it gets...
Oh no, not the floats.
Yeah, no. It's awful. For the record, I am not a programmer in the slightest, so you are welcome to assist and explain things to me. This is very much a... I'm new to programming. I've never done anything like this before. But I'm going to stream how I figure this stuff out, how I look up information, how I learn along the way. And that way there's this lovely recording for anyone who's new and doesn't even know how to get started with a project. And be sort of like living proof that, you know, as long as you start somewhere, you'll figure it out. Just gotta stick to it. Yeah. So because the variable changes when it goes to this catch list of weights, it looks like that happens when it converts to a string. So what we need to work out is have a bit of a look at strings. And we need to work out how to format the string so that it doesn't add all the decimal places. Part of me wants to do
Based. I'm a programmer but never touched SAMMI before.
It's actually really... it's pretty easy to get into. Like, I'm definitely the sort of person who, when looking at just like words on a screen, I find it really hard to like figure out what it's doing. And while it's all well and good to tell me like line X is an error, and it will, if I crash the program, it will it will tell me that, or it will tell me like which line is doing it. But it's particularly nice that when I do something and it doesn't work, I can test it, I can change something, and then I can go back into like this game screen and go and test it again and like see it work or see something has changed. And I've slowly learnt that going into the variables window and having a look here is actually really helpful information. So yeah, I think I like the feedback with SAMMI is really, really nice. And it's pretty simplistic as well. Like, as far as the Twitch integration goes, it's really just reading chat for particular triggers, and they've all got it built in, and then...
Yes, it sounds super useful.
It really is. And then all I'm doing, like, to do all the stuff on screen, it's just changing visibilities of things within OBS, which is great. So like to run the whole thing, it's literally just turn this thing on, turn this thing off, turn this thing on, turn this thing off, which is great. Yeah, lots of fun. But I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely finding that I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I'm thinking of how am I going to do this thing when I go to bed. So in the past, trying to get rid of these decimal places, I've used these, like the string replace all, to replace particular characters, but I'm pretty sure, but I can't do that with like a 0 or a decimal, right? Because if I go replace all zeros, I'm not going to have anything. So that's not useful. There's also this string trim.
You could do replace point 0 since your numbers don't have decimals, right?
No, you can do multiple characters. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe the point 0 specifically will work. So it's appearing as, like for example, this will be 100.0. I suppose if I specifically capture the point 0 part, maybe it will. So let's try it rather than assuming. Let's give it a go, and then it will tell us exactly what's going on. So if I go into my array here, so I've saved this variable. What was I doing again? It was string replace all. So if I go in here and I go add in, let's not add in quite that much. Oh god, what did I do? I got the string replace all, I just also accidentally copied a bunch of stuff. Maybe not this many string replaceables. That's the random. That's the split to array, which isn't the right one. Yes, in here. Okay. That's the load text. Load text we also don't want. Okay. So if we grab this here, so our variable is this in here. And we're replacing the point 0. And then we're going to save it. Actually, we might do this. Say catch variable, save weight, raw. Just and then we will save it as catch this weight. And then we don't have to muck with the rest of the stuff. Alright, let's try this. Oh, there we go. You were absolutely right. And now it's only being placed in as digits. Very nice. Good, cool. I was scared of putting in the zeros.
We're going places.
We are going places. Yeah, I was scared of putting in the 0, thinking that it will like pull the zeros from the hundreds. But I'm guessing because the decimals involved, it's specifically looking for just the 0.0. I suppose in the future, because I can also use star as a wildcard. So if there were multiple decimal places, I could do 0.0 then star, and I think it removes anything connected. So with that, now if I run this side of things, we have our weights with this.
Ah, yes, I get you. I assumed it would be regex expressions, so that's why I offered haha.
No, please do offer. It's very good. Okay. So, we're still in the realm of undefined with our array. But at least... Run this again. Why is our catch this way? We might have to remove these for a second. So let's do a fresh run. So let's get rid of all of it. Our fish count's at 1. Okay, let's bring our fish count back up to 10, which is what we're triggering our if statement on. 9, 10. Good. Okay. Run that again. Cool. So now our array is still undefined for some reason. So I think what we're going to have to do is figure out how to change our numbers to values. Because I think that's where it's getting a bit confused. So in our weighting, and it brings it up as the array, which is catch list to weight. So load text, load the ini. We're saving the variable as catch list to weight 1. Oh, yeah. Catch list to weight 1 as an array. Okay. Maybe that's our problem. Oh, we've crashed it. I probably should have read why that crashed. And the best way to do it is run it again and make it crash again. Wait, it didn't save, that's why. Where are we? Yeah, so saving variable as catch list to weight 1.
You broke it.
I did. That's the fun part, right? When CSV doesn't. So have it over here. Oh, are we back at 1? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 10. Okay. Back at 10. Okay. Save this, run it. Alright, we crash again. So it's unable to convert string bracket 1 to a number. Okay, so in that case, it's capturing the wrong stuff. So if we go to our weight, it's capturing all this crap. Which is not too bad. So we need to go in and I need to run all this stuff here that I already had. in here. But we need to do it for this. We need we'll do, for the sake of naming, we'll do weight. Catch list weight 2. That saves it as a different variable. And what we want it to do is we want to capture this. I think. Try that one. We're going to run the CSV again. And we're back to 1. Run. Run. 10. Yep. And we crashed again. Okay, we managed to remove the space, but not the bracket. Okay, so let's have a look. Because we have got it, we are removing it. I'm just going to borrow the statement here. It's just stick this in. Right. Just let this checks if it's there. Oh, I did manage to get that one though. Save variable weight 2. Here we go. Let's try now. Oh, that was better. We're still at undefined.
How's the coding going?
Slowly.
WTF is this music?
It's what's it called? It's Super Mario Sunshine. This is what I grew up playing. It's great. Mario Sunshine was a great game. Okay, so good news, we're not crashing. Bad news, didn't actually solve our problem. So I'm just gonna get rid of all of this.
I am baffled by this.
What? That I grew up playing Sunshine. But Sunshine is so good. Okay. We managed to build this array. And this worked fine. So the question is, why is it that...
No, the undefined and the arrays.
Ah, yeah.
My head is almost exploding.
Look, we'll work it out. It's just a matter of bashing your head against a brick wall until it works, right?
Lols, yeah, I may have him make me a game for my stream when he figures all this out.
You haven't even told me what game. I suppose that will be my next project. That is true. The nice thing about this is once I work it out, I could probably have like little games that like play out in the corner. And you could probably do some simple ones like tic-tac-toe,
Ha
right?
ha ha ha.
What I eventually want to do is I want to have the little fisher guy like move around and react to all the TTS. So it looks like he's
Yeah,
talking.
I want one that would play off Toddy's side while I'm streaming.
But I've got a bunch of stuff to do still. Okay, so we split it to array. So this splitting to array is working, right? So loading the catch list, which
Turn the
is,
volume of your TTS down.
yeah, I need to, let's see if I can do that.
Your audio balance is off.
I'm sure it is. We can do that. We'll do that quickly. Maybe it's a good tangent. So our TTS. All right, this is why I couldn't. So this wants a decimal, but it didn't like decimals for some when I was trying to do it. Right. It only wants like, well, it doesn't want a decimal place, but apparently you're meant to put in a decimal place. So the problem was that I couldn't work out how. Apparently I broke it too. See if this fixes it. No, it's going, what it's going to is it's going to this SAMMI bridge here. And then this is just going through the desktop audio.
You set the volume of the TTS to 0.
Actually, I suppose I could just turn down. Ah, I did. Okay. Let's see if I just alter the desktop audio, because I'm doing the stream playlist music in its own separate thing. Try type something now. I think eventually I'll have to like capture this and stick it through its own audio channel, so that I can adjust it better. But for now we're just doing this. There you go. That's probably better. I can't tell on my side because the volume doesn't change. Oh, actually, maybe I just use volume mixer and change the Microsoft Edge. Oh, that's too low. All right. How about this? That bridge is still going. I did used to use voice meter, and I probably will eventually pull it back up. But all the virtual audio cables that I had installed were doing my head in. Anyway, give me updates as to whether whether you can hear the TTS.
Yeah, I have too many.
Yeah, been there, done that, and most of them there was absolutely no use for them. They just had them.
It's good now.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, for the moment, it's just desktop audio. Oh, good on you. Yeah, I feel like eight audio sources probably is too much for me. I must admit, I'm also seeing that my mic is like peaking a little bit on my end. So at some stage I need to like sit down with you, Raven, and we'll figure out audio balancing and all that jazz. But that's a job for another time. For now, I need to work out why this array is not working and crashing my programs. And why this first one does work perfectly fine. And I wonder if it's the ordering. Maybe. What if I did it this way? Okay, that way crashes things, but it might be because I already had something loaded. So let's try us again. No, it doesn't like it because it's unable to convert the string to a number. Okay, so it has to be in that direction. So we need to be able to remove all the stuff first. So we load the text file with weight. We save it as a variable for weight 2. We replace all the stuff, all the special characters in there with nothing. And then we split, and then we save it. And then we split the string and turn it into an array. But the array comes back as undefined.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, I think I need to string it first. I did have to do it. Here, let me pull up the documentation on in the array bit. Because here, if you're using the same, no, ignore that bit. Arrays cleared every time you close or reset SAMMI. If you wish to save in a file, you need to stringify array. And .ini save text commands, which would mean that we need to then split that. Because when it loads the text, it's just saving as a variable. It's not necessarily saving it as an array. I think the example is here, right? So when it loads as list 1, which I've got here. And then it's just outputting what's there. It doesn't turn it into an array. Until I actually split it into an array. The interesting part, though, is that it's perfectly fine splitting all the non-numbers into an array, it doesn't get confused about values here. But as soon as numbers are involved, it gets very picky and confused about it. Realistically, yeah. I should do this so as not to confuse myself, but all of this stuff here would actually be related to this.
Are you able to use JSON instead of INI files?
Yes, there should be I know when you import button, you can import a button from JSON. And I know you can copy the JSON. Whether you can load it, good question. JSON. So there's definitely stuff in here. So for instance, where was it? When I was looking at the random stuff for arrays. Yeah, so it's got this stuff here. So you can copy this and it makes a button. Alright. But at least it's got that capability. I don't know how helpful that is. But yeah, I don't know of any command that just like loads the JSON. Okay, so let's have a bit of a look under numbers. String to number. Turns a string value into a real number. Returns 0 if it doesn't start with a number or a dot. So maybe this is a direction we can take. I mean, technically what you could do is just create all, like, this entire array in here every single time that it goes to, run this if statement, but I feel like that's a bit of a bad way of doing it, and it's cleaner to have it built ahead of time and separate, and so you just have to load a file. Oh, unless...
Yeah, you'd probably want to edit it on a file because that would be easier too.
Yeah, possibly. I can edit it in here pretty easily too, because I've got this set up so that it, I can push this button and it will just generate a new one. So if I add in extra stuff here, like just say a new thing to pull, I can do it all here, and I just run it, and it will just create me a new file with everything, which is also kind of handy. I'm just trying to think like what's the cleanest way to do it. The cleanest way, like when running this part, because
I'll grab some food and also download SAMMI and bash my head and see if I can find something.
yeah, go for it. Do it along with me. It'll be fun. Alright, let's make a new little button over here for our testing.
Psychos, this looks like suffering to me.
It's a bit like a puzzle, and you know how much I like puzzles. Okay, so I'm just going to grab all of this. Go away. Bloody bot people. I suppose I should mod my my partner. That would be smart. There you go. There, now it's your problem, not mine.
I'm working overtime hours RN, so not sure how I could help you much XD.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. You're still my partner. I should probably give it to you. Okay, what was I doing? I'm putting these in here. So we don't care about the if statement or any of the extra stuff. And we don't care about any of this for testing. We don't care about these. Or that switch statement. All we care about is making sure that these will appear. Okay. So when we're splitting the string to an array, it's not actually turning it into an array. Let's see if we do string to number. No, because this seems to be only doing like one. We'll try it. Okay. So we're taking this here, catch list weight 2. Catch list 2, weight 2. Which is what we want to look at. And we're just going to save this as three. Right there. So this will become 3. Alright, does this achieve anything? We got a 0. Ignored the rest of the array and it gave us 0. Well, that ain't helpful. Okay, so that's about what I was worried. That it was just going to return that. Also, the TCS stuff stopped again. Turn it on, off, on. Must admit, the TTS stuff is a bit finicky. Oh, I did have this at 0, so. Yes, alright. That's fine. That's all correct. Okay, so string to number, not helpful. Array format. Creates and returns a new string. Oh, here we go. Pass array turns a JSON string into an array or object. Must be properly formatted. And we can easily create a
Back and downloaded it. Time to lose my mind.
So the pass array object might be what you're after for the JSON related stuff. So it turns a JSON string into an array or object. Must be properly formatted. Thing is, I don't really understand JSON strings or anything like that. But this would be an option. Let's have a look at...
Ah, yes, that is exactly what I was thinking.
Let's just have a look at what this looks like. That's why it's a pass array object. So does that mean I can just grab... I think the issue here is when it formats it, it's not doing this. Like, shouldn't the file be like no space before the 1 and after the 15? I feel like this is actually what I'm after.
JSON arrays are anything inside square brackets, so a list of fish would be fish_1, fish_2, and that is valid, so is fish5634.
Okay. So that one, so the fish list, yeah, that's fine. Like that. So the fish list actually works. Yeah, just delete that from it. So the list itself actually works fine. it's adding the weighting. So when you add weighting to an array, a bit particular, but effectively you make a secondary array that has underscore weight at the end, and then when you do the random command, so this array random command, as long as you have this secondary one where it's the same name but with underscore weight at the end, it will add a weighted chance. And that's the bit I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to have this secondary array with the weighting. And I was hoping that I could do it just by like the same way that I did the first one, which was have the ini file there, pull from it, and then have it appear. And that way, if I ever edit that file, I don't have to like come all the way in here and edit extra stuff. Like it's all sort of contained in one spot. And it means that I can edit that file in different locations, and because it's all referencing that, I don't have to go and change it everywhere, which is what my general approach was. Because I don't know what else I'm going to add to this. I might have an extra button that like creates or adds something to that array, which means that that has to get updated.
I feel like now I understand the exact despair you're in now.
Yeah, right. So that's the annoying part, right? It can pull this first array, right? So it can pull this array, and it can understand that it is an array.
Again, psychos.
But when it's trying to return a value, it seems to not like it. It seems to be fine when the array is just like text, but not when it is a specific value. Oh, I wonder if can I just remove the spacing? No, because it likes the spacing between the commas.
If it's a string, it's fine, but when it's the funny decimal.
Yeah, but we removed the funny decimal. We managed to get rid of that. Because we did this here, right? So the file that it's loading is this wait list, right? So we removed the decimals. That's all successful. So the only things in this file are just numbers, which it should be reading as values. But it's not. And part of me wonders if we need a little bit more of this sort of editing. Where we edit out like the bracket space. So what is it? This, for example, right? So if we get rid of that and we get rid of space bracket and we run that, does that get rid of it? No, we get decimals back. And we lost the end bracket. Let's see what happens if we just... Oh, the scary decimals are back. So let's do the reverse. How does that go? Yeah, so now now it's just like it keeps swapping between them, so
Scary decimals XD. Ooh, spooky.
yeah, it's very spooky. Decimals are scary, scary things. I go to bed each night panicking. I think the way oh god, okay. Yeah, no, I actually do know how I need to I think I have to, let's just do roll 1, right? No, hold on. So we're pulling from this, we're saving it as catch weight. Let's do raw 2, and then we pull this variable, and then we save it as our weight. Does that one work? Here we go. That's okay. Let's see if it likes that more. So actually, let's go on our testy one. Okay, so get rid of all these.
You did it.
No, we didn't do that. Oh wait, hold on, because we've got all this extra string to number stuff, right? So maybe we don't need that string to number anymore. No, it still doesn't like it. We're still in array undefined. For the weight one. Let's see. Let's turn off all of this editing stuff. And we just load it. So we load
Array
this.
undefined, my worst enemy.
Yeah, it's starting to become mine. Okay. So let's say we want weight 2. Let's make sure this is all here. We do weight 2. We're leaving this as catch list. Save. We're just gonna delete all these again. Okay. Run. And crashed. Unable to convert string 1 to a number. So it's still capturing the bracket. At least SAMMI is nice and reloads itself every time I crash it. That's and you know, it's very kind of it. Okay, so let's turn on our replacing of brackets and stuff. No, we're still at undefined. So like we removed spaces and all that jazz, but it didn't help us. And we're still pulling the right thing. Yeah, catch list weights. Yep, that file name's all the same. It's definitely referencing the right thing too, because it was telling us when it crashed. Also, this should be here. Actually, this concerns me. That's catching that bit at the end too, but I'll figure that out later. But it is strange to me that it's fine pulling this file. It has no issues there. I wonder if I can just reference the button variable. Because I did it with the toggle, but that was getting a status. There are get variable, global variables. Local variables are button's own variables, can be directly accessed from its own button at any time. Button variables are stored inside every button object. They can be accessed from any other button if their own button is set to persistence.
OMG, it's only 9:30. It feels like it should be 2 p.m. by now.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for you, 9:30.
$30.10 Jesus. I need food.
You should go get some food then. Okay, maybe this is one route.
Probably XD.
So one route might be that we create the array over here in its own button once. And we have it as a button variable, so it's stored inside every button object that can be accessed from other buttons if their own button is set to persistent. So how do I set this to persistent? That's not what I want. Settings. Local variable persistent. So if that's the case, shouldn't I just be able to reference it? Let's try. So I'm just going to pop up to the bottom. Pop up message. And it's just going to tell me catch. Oh, it's meant to be like slash. Wait, no, %/ $sign catch. And I'll ignore the formatting issue. So what if I just load variable? So load get a button variable. Oh, maybe this is just the better idea. I kind of like having the ini file, but I guess each time I run the game the first time, I could just run this button to build the arrays.
Have you seen object to ini?
Object to ini. Here we go. Create, set object, get first key, stringify object, pass object to array. No. Let's say object to ini. Object to ini.
It's an ini section, I think.
Ini. Here we go. Object to ini. Converts a properly formatted object into an ini file. The object needs to be a nested object.
In files ini.
Yeah, I get ya. Oh. maybe could this work?
And then also ini to object.
Okay, so how does the object differ is the question. So a container for named values. Variables that hold objects can be data types, and these variables can be read and written to after the initial object creation. You can set more variables to the object. So we do string to object, save that, load the ini to an object, and then do object to array. The values array will not work properly with object values. Oh, that could possibly give us issues. Though it does say conversion type values. Okay, let's do a test one. So we're just gonna make so how does it get formatted? Yep, I want to see how this gets formatted. So let's, rather than, I'm just going to copy this over. Object test. Yep. We're going to create an array. We'll catch this X, array with weight X. Just gonna add X to the end of all these so that I make something different. Is there an array to object? That's the other way around. looks like the object just lets you put a bit more information than an array. I don't quite get it, because like formatting wise, I kind of get how it's different. Okay, what happens if I just load... no, don't want that one. Delete. There we go. Any to object. Okay. Test object. And we'll say, God, what's the file path? Okay. Underscore, wait. Let's rerun that test object list. Okay, so it creates that. And then let's add in object to array. And we want values. Object name is this, and array name will be test array. Run that. Oh god, okay, it just added them all up or something or other. Okay, so it doesn't work in its current way. Test object. Okay, so it's set object variable. Set object variable. So object name would be how does it format? Let's go fish, for example. We have key. Just test for the moment, and then variable. Let's go underscore fish. Wait, it's quotations, not percentage. Okay. And then we go object to any test object, and our file path will be this for test object. Test underscore object. Invalid object. This. Oh wait, sorry, no. This. Here we go. Object, test object. There we go. Save. Right. That's better. Right, now I have to save it, right? Oh wait, turn that bit off. Get rid of all that. Save that, run it. Wait, we don't care about that. Save. Run. Invalid object. Oh, because I didn't put a space in. Object incorrectly formatted. Put the command object ini. Okay, so what's wrong with the formatting? So let's just put in extra. Let's go red. So that there's 2 in there. Oh, kind of just gets rid of the last one.
Trying to get formatting to it must be object name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, when I go in to do this object thing is kind of tricky. The set object variable isn't working, right? It's to save run. Oh, okay, because it's overriding it. So it will be object incorrectly formatted. What does the formatting have to be then? There's also this string of I
The
object.
closest I've gotten is ini to object dash get object variable dash object to array, but it's making the array a string.
Yeah. I wonder if the actual solution is just to have the array built in here and just reference it. I would have to run this every time to create the array, but at least it would be a separate button. So like every time I loaded up this, I would have to click that first to create the array, otherwise everything wouldn't work right. But it might be possible. To get the variable, because there's get button variable here. Creates a new button variable and modifies another set. There was a get one, I thought. Get button variable. Here we go. So for example, let's just delete this button. Try fresh. That's my other test one. If I just get rid of all that, if I go get button variable, and the button ID is 10. We want the variable of catch. Wait. Catch list underscore wait. And then we save that variable as the same thing. But in theory, it will give us the array. So like I guess that is one way of doing it, and we just pull the array from a different button. But it does mean that we have to run that at the beginning every single time. Unless there's a trigger for like load. Actually, is there triggers? OBS extension, SAMMI voice. No. I mean, yeah. So anyway, that's possible, but it's not really a particularly elegant way of doing it. Because I don't, like, you don't want to have to run that every single time. You want to be able to basically open this up and it's like good from the get-go.
Yeah, if it loads automatically, that would be ideal.
I guess the...
I stringify object and manage to get it to be the correct formatting, but it still needs to become an array.
Yeah. Other option is we put in an if statement like this, right? So we have all the array stuff in this main thing, and we run and we just check it. It's like, if this variable exists, right, don't create the array. If it doesn't exist, create the array. Which might be, but I'm pretty sure I've got in here a delete variables. Yeah, delete variable all. to clear it, which means that would have to get changed. Why do I delete that variable? Ah, that's right. I'm deleting that variable so that it resets the CSV, I think. I think that's what I'm doing. I may have some redundant stuff in there, but that's a problem for future me. Hold on. So I'm using stringify. What if how does that form? What's array format to string? Where are we? Grab this. Get me that. Add in. Was it array format to string? Array format to string. I will say variable as which way string. And then okay, so now it's that. Add in this. So let's say we want this one. We'll change the file name. Run that. Oh, that's looking better. Okay. Okay, cool. So that is that. And then we want to load the ini. Load that. Section key save variable as test. That's that. And then we want, you might have done it. I may have too, actually. Let's see. What was it? String. Split string to array. Oh, bingo. All right. Yep, I did too. We were using the wrong thing. That was the answer was we weren't using the right commands this whole time. The exact same way, yeah, where you need to use array format to string because we were using stringify array, not array format to string. Hey, but now we know it works for sure because we both managed to do it. All right, cool. So this really was a matter of stuffed up. So the nice part about this though is it should mean that in both these instances, right? So for these values as well as the numerical ones, I should just be able to change all these to over, was it array format to string? Array format to string. We want this. And then we're saving the variable. Is this. And then same thing here. Array format to string. Also, I realized TTS broke again. TTS is a bit finicky. Oh, edit. See if that does it. Oh, the bridge failed. That's why. That's the problem. I didn't like it. Probably shouldn't have shown the IP address, but it's local, so not too worried. Probably during the
Boop
crashes.
bop.
Boop up. There we go. That's better. The bridge disconnected. All the crashes. I forgot to reconnect the bridge. Okay, where was I? So we're doing that. So now we shouldn't need these replaces because that should all get sorted, right? So now we can just do this, do this, get the underscore, run that, deletes that. I'm just going to delete that string one so it doesn't confuse me. Now it's got this in here, and it's got this in here. Okay. And if we go back here, we're just going to turn off all of this stuff here, because it shouldn't be necessary. And then what was the next bit? It was still string split to array. So because this bit's the same and shouldn't matter, this should all be exactly the same. Catch list. There's catch list 2. There should be catch list 2 wait. Okay. Let's see. So open our variable, we run our variable. Alright, cool. We've got our 2 arrays, so they're in. And we caught a blue fish. So ta-da. That's blue. What did I set our weightings to? So blue should be the most common. And the black shadow one should be the rarest. If we just run this a bunch, so we got a yellow one that time. Yeah, try to do. There we go. We can do this, do our fish a bunch of times. Unfortunately, because of the global thing, I think I'm the one that has to spam it. Although, what I might do is I will just change these trigger values so that they're lower. And then we'll do if message count is 3. So we do that. Assuming I didn't break everything. There we go. I think the third one is. Let's see. So that's 1, 2, slightly bigger. Oh, it triggers it slightly too soon, though. There you go. So you got your little circle. What's the global timer for you guys? Because you can't spam it, can you?
Holy moly.
I know, it's a circle. Yeah, I think this
Let me try and find out.
No, you're good.
Fish. 2s.
2 seconds. Okay, that's actually not too bad. Also, I think this has to be slightly higher values. There, so do that. Okay, so bluefish is coming up. So the weighting does seem to be working. Oh, I know it's be less than or equal to. That's the problem. And then yeah, bluefish again. Cool. But it does work, and thankfully, TTS does ignore the saying of exclamation mark fish. Which is the other bonus.
Imagine TTS didn't ignore commands and spoke over each other.
Yeah, don't worry.
Ignore.
So what I had to do to get around that. So the TTS stuff you purchase is like an add-on thing, but you have to go into the base, and I basically have a list of like banned words, and if it says that, it basically runs the string replace. So in this case, it's like if you say fish, it replaces it with nothing. So it just like nothing comes through TTS. I think what it still does is it will still like trigger so it'll still like trigger the TTS, but it just happens so quickly. Like it's like the TTS says nothing, so it just moves on to the next one. So that way, hopefully when people like speak in between the spam, it will still pick that up and run that through TTS. Anyway, that's the hope. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with that. Who would have thought that using the wrong commands to create the arrays the whole time, and all of this extra string replace stuff was entirely unnecessary.
Small oopsie.
Yeah, just a small oopsie. But you know what? We figured it out. On the upside, now I can delete all that stuff, and it looks a hell of a lot cleaner.
True.
So yeah. So the next task, I'll probably finish up. That's a good successful stopping point for today. But the next thing I need to do is then I need like a random start point, right? Because you don't want there to always be a fish on the hook. You want there to be like a fish comes along after a random period of time and then it triggers. So that's the next thing. The downside to that is currently I've got it triggering so that both the command to pick up the counter that's in the background, so that the circle gets bigger, as well as literally everything else is on the same trigger. So it will update every time exclamation mark fish is done. If I want a random chance, I think I have to have it running continuously. And I haven't quite figured out even how to approach that. Like, you can have it so that it's a repeat interval of the trigger, but you don't necessarily want that. What I think I'm going to have to do is save this in its own thing. And in the same way that I've got, like over here, I've got a hotkey. So if I press 0, it like turns off the TTS on my numpad. And I can press 0 and it turns it, like, so I'll toggle it on and off. I think what I need to do is I need another deck entirely that just runs a timer, and after a particular interval, it will turn on the fishing game deck, and then it will run. And then after the fish is caught and all that's done, I need something in this deck that turns it back off again, and then resets the timer on this one. So, and maybe it might be that when this deck turns this one on, this turns this one off, so that after the fish is caught, it turns this back on, which restarts the timer. But I haven't. I gotta work all that out. Right. So that's my thought on how to approach it. But I might do some background research. The trick is
the only way to find out is to bash our heads again.
Very, very true. And there's going to be some other things too, right? So for instance, at the moment, like there's no like little black dot to symbolize the fish. I've got it here that if the value is 1, which like it will tick to after the first exclamation mark fish, it will make that dot visible. So what I will probably end up doing is it will be like, hey, the timer runs over here. When the timer triggers, it sets that visibility to 1 just so that you see the dot, and then it shuts down this deck and turns on this one, and then everyone can play the game. So yeah, bash our heads again. That's the plan. Yep, but that will be it today. Thank you very much, Mills, for doing this alongside me. In all honesty, I never would have thought to have looked at object and to revisit all those bits and pieces. So yes, very, very, very helpful. Hopefully, I tend to stream like every other day.
Hahaha, this was a load of fun.
So probably Wednesday my time is when I'll stream next. And I usually start at like 8-9 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I don't have a set schedule quite yet, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, every other day, usually in the evening after dinner is when I have another go at this. Okay, with that,
Mud and BT, laughing face.
yes. All right. Well, hopefully, I'll see you next time, and you can help me explore how on earth I'm going to do this next part. But for now, I'll talk to you later.
Have a nice night. You too, it was great having you, smiley face.